So, welcome everyone to the 302nd AMA of the Many Worlds token. It definitely hasn't been that much, but sure feels like it. So, pretty big updates this time around. And for the first time in what feels like forever, it's a lot of good news. Minus, the terrible crap that's happening in the world in the United States right now, which I'm trying my best to not bring into this discussion, but things aren't okay. And that's incredibly frustrating that things aren't okay. And it just adds more layers of complexity to everything we're trying to do because there is just so much happening. The world is in an interesting place. Anyways, welcome to the AMA. Thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and jump right in and talk about what we were just talking about in staff. To just give the highlights of the direction we're headed, and keep in mind that none of this is final because it has not passed a vote. And everybody is welcome to propose anything at any given time. If you are unsure of how that process works, you just submit a proposal to Luckbox. That's it. You can propose anything at any given time, and I mean anything, right? This is an organization and it runs as such. So that voting structure that's going to be a lot more streamlined is still in development, but we've made some, I say we, but really it's Luck, and I don't know if Gustav was on the voting side, but I know Luckbox has been putting a lot of attention into that in the Discord bots. So those are underway and looking really good, and we'll have a nice streamlined process for voting on all the stuff, because I hope you're all prepared for a serious amount of voting that's going to occur in the very near future. And that is that we have been working, with legal through regulations since this project launched. It has been just, I hope my sigh said it all. It's not fun to try to fit into something that isn't defined. It's not broadly defined. It's not even directly defined. We got a little bit of noise about security versus commodity coming out of Congress recently, and that's good. It gives a direction to point, but it is very difficult. And the way we're structuring right now is looking like it's going to be towards a nonprofit/co-op in which all the members of the organization are participants on both ends of it, right? Being a builder in it, being a member in it, having a place to be. And it looks like we fit that structure really, really well. And we have from the beginning, which is great. It's just in the beginning, we weren't defined, right? Because we didn't even think about, securities and all that, right? We thought crypto is its own asset and we can kind of structure it however we want and then just back it by an LLC. Turns out it's not that simple at all. And that's largely because it isn't defined. You can't just create an LLC and then assign a token to it and boom, you're good to go. So there are still a few more things that we're playing with in an effort to fit the rest of that definition. And as soon as that happens, the first thing we're going to receive is a memo from the legal team that gives basically bullet points on what this is going to look like. At that point, we will vote yay or nay in favor of that memo. If it's voted yay, then we're going to go ahead and build out. Well, it's already built out, but if it is voted in, then we're going to put out the Constitution, right? And the Constitution will get voted on line by line. It's going to suck. It's going to be fun, but it's going to suck. But it's going to basically be just a day or several days of we talk about this line, we open it up to discussion, and then we vote it in yes or no. By the time we're done voting in the entire Constitution, we would then vote in committee members. So basically, there's different positions. You could be a chairperson. You can be the philanthropy chair. You can be, right, there's these different chair positions, but they are not individual people. They're actually committees. So you would have the philanthropy committee, in which we vote in, say, 5 to 10 Many Worlds members to run and organize that committee. That's the general idea of the way it's headed. And I know it's annoying. I know, trust me, I'm annoyed. I've been dealing with this we're coming up on a year since the inception of this project, and it's been a year of virtually free labor and aggravation. But I love the project, and we all love the project, and that's why we're here, and we're continuing to build regardless of what's happening in the world, regardless of what's happening with the market. We love what we're doing. We love the project, and we want to keep doing it. And we know you all love it, which is why every day it seems like there's a new person joining the team. And what do you need to do to join the team? Ask. That's it. There's no formal interview process. No one can stop you from doing anything. If you decided you wanted to build a many worlds game and use many worlds tokens, you can do that. Nobody's stopping you. But if you want to do it, inside of our code base, the only reason you need to ask for that is to prevent bad actors. That's it, right? There's no, oh, you're not good enough to be here. It's, are you going to go into our code base and delete everything from main, right? That's all we have to try to avoid. So that's about it on the structure side. Things are headed in a really, really good direction. Thankfully, the US has put out some direction towards the path we should be heading down, and we're working through that. So in the coming weeks here, be prepared, because that is what's going to set the precedence moving forward. That's what we've been waiting on this entire time, and it's what we're going to continue waiting on, because I personally do not want to wake up one day, doing my job and I'm doing some work on many worlds, like, this stuff's so cool, man. Like, look at this comic book this person just made, which was sick, by the way. And then I open up my email and there's a, $5 million lawsuit from the SEC. I don't want that. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. So that has to be number one priority of many worlds on all ends, from community member to dev member to whatever it is. That is the number one priority to move forward, right? And once that's done, we have the structure set, we have the organization decentralized and functional, and from there it's just building, right? So I can go off on that for days, and it is very complicated. It may not seem it on the surface at all, but it is indeed very complicated. So from that side, we're still working through that, doing our absolute best to be compliant with everyone we need to be compliant with. The marketplace. Let's go ahead and go into updates, because I want to show those screenshots. So let me copy those over.
Human, excuse me to interrupt you. Maybe you want to keep the screenshot for the end, so that I would start with the backend, as it's, I think, less interesting, and then we finish with the good stuff. What do you think?
You know what? Good point. So let's not go straight into the marketplace yet. Let's talk about, Gustav, take the floor. Talk about some of the backend stuff you and Luck have been working on since last AMA.
Yes. So first, hi everyone. I hope that you are all going good, and your family and friends, you are all doing okay. So here I represent the backend part of the team with Luck, and we have been working a lot on the voting system, which is actually fully tested and working. So basically right now we have some token getting system, so we can have votes based on the token levels and a certain amount of tokens, which is really great, because that was something we were looking for, and now we have that, and that's really performant. I'm also working on providing some APIs to Arexus and ChewyScript to help them in their front-end work for the marketplace. And basically a lot of infrastructure on the back end, on the backside of the things. A lot of headaches too, to understand stuff that were not going well. And I really thought I was not using things correctly, but actually I was using things correctly, but they were not returning me the right values or objects. And I had to insist a little bit on that. But I fixed all of that. So that's all good now. And basically for the backend, that's it. We are at the point where we are providing more APIs for the front end. Yes.
Actually, I will add on that. I don't know that I brought this up in the last AMA, but I do want it to be clear, is like we've always been transparent. We will always be transparent because there's no other way to run a decentralized or any sort of organization without complete transparency. So the original dev members, right? We know there was a bit of a different team here originally. An infrastructure was established, and that infrastructure has some hiccups and difficulty to utilize, right? Because you have these different permissions and you have people who may not be around as much anymore, have access to something that we don't have access to. And it has been a huge headache, right? Transitioning basically to a new infrastructure that we do have as many worlds holders complete control over, and we can take votes based on the way we're going to structure everything and do all the things we need to do. So that has been a massive transition, and it's still going, right? This entire year has been infrastructure setup, not only technically, but in legal frameworks as well, right? Basically, we're doing one massive setting of foundation, and that foundation will be incredibly stable for us to continue developing out the utility that we all have been dreaming of having. But the marketplace is close. But Gustav, I don't know if you want to finish before we go into that.
No, you're totally right, because on the last 4 days, every day, I've been working on that actually to increase the stability of the platform. And I think I've fixed the last bugs today, to be honest. So right now we have a system fully working. When people are doing some transfers, we are aware of the transfer in less than 10 seconds, and the levels of the wallets are recalculated automatically. So that's going to be really incredible to build applications on top of that.
Yeah, and so like the marketplace, the D app, the website, all of that was built on the original infrastructure, right? So we've spent a lot of time trying to continue even the marketplace that we recently have been working on, right? That has been getting built into the existing infrastructure, and that is a lot more difficult than it sounds. So as we migrate to this new infrastructure, our own, the speed of development is also going to increase as we have this.
Oh yes,
all the access we need, right? And
actually,
even in the D app, if you guys remember the D app, right? You log in, the chart took sometimes 20, 30 seconds for the chart of your holdings to appear. And now, how fast does that data come in, Gustav?
Yeah, less than 2 seconds. But
less than 2 seconds.
We still want to rework the D app. Right now, as you know, it was a different infrastructure. So, but as you said, we are basically with Arexus today. We talked about a new API to develop, and I did that in less than 1 hour, and he can use them right now if he wants to.
It was incredible fast.
You see?
Yeah, what everyone has been witnessing up to this point is a massive transition on a massive project with a lot of global considerations to be had. So it's a lot for a bunch of people on the internet to just work on with sweat equity, not even like just for free, like for volunteer because we like it. Like it's a lot. It's a real lot. But I am very happy to say that the people that have been doing development over the past few weeks to even months at this stage have absolutely just blown my mind. And we are now at a point where probably I'm the biggest holdup at this point. I say me, but that's the legal side, right? I'm moving as fast as that can move. But that is the largest thing holding us back. Whereas a few months ago, the previous infrastructure was holding us back from developing a lot of stuff and putting it out there. So it looks like everything is really coming together here, which is incredibly exciting. But there is still a lot of work to be done, a lot. So anything else you want to give on the back end?
I think no. For this time, we are fine. I can give you an update in 2 weeks, and you can speak about the NFT marketplace now if you want.
Cool, yeah. So our first real forward-facing utility, although I suppose that was the D app, but that's nothing more than a portal to view things. So the marketplace is well underway. As you all know, the smart contracts and the functionality have been developed and have existed for months now. What we were greatly lacking was the front end, and Chewy has been absolutely killing it. And so has Alex, because Alex has not just been waiting around, right? He's been constantly adding more utility, and just kept adding that, waiting for the back end to happen. So, Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, but the auction smart contract is now also done?
Yep, it's done and running, and we're just waiting to integrate with the front end. But the auction is everything set up.
Excellent. So now we have a completely functional marketplace, like any other marketplace, buy, mint, sell, whatever. In addition, with the auction functionality, where you can set a price and a timeline for expiration and all that good stuff. And we do have the real world document technology done, right? Where you can where you can choose a licensing to be associated with your NFT. Now, the real world legal documents, those real world licenses, we do not yet have those. Where we're going to be getting those is largely from our partners at Penthouse Recording Studios. But first, this thing needs to go into open beta. They can list their songs on there to kind of test it out. So that licensing feature is still down the road. That's not going to be something immediately released unless we just allow for a custom upload, which I'm okay with. If you want to add your own license agreement that you have your own lawyers draft up, or you get some boilerplate code, or not code, but some boilerplate document about licensing, and you want to attach that to your NFT, the functionality for that exists. But in no way, shape, or form are we at the stage where we will be providing those licensing documents. So the technology exists, which is incredibly exciting and will be usable, just not with default ones built in already. So the last thing before everyone gets to start playing with this and starting to mint some NFTs, and we can distribute the first 100 NFT. Very exciting. All of that is pretty darn close, and I'll let Chewy go ahead and pipe in and talk about what he's been doing, and I'll start sharing some screenshots while he, if he wants to give a chat. I don't know. Kind of putting you on the spot here, bud. Chewy, you good to talk a little bit? All right, he's having a snack.
No, I'm here. I couldn't. I was trying to press the unmute button. It wasn't working. Can you repeat what you wanted me to say, though? I missed that.
Yeah, just go ahead and chat about the front end and what you're working on next. And I'm going to start porting over some pictures for people to take a peek at.
Okay, well, basically, as Human was saying, we are rewriting it from. We're just redoing so much of the infrastructure sort of thing. So this is a brand new from the ground up thing. It's a long process, but it's speeding along quite well. By no means is this UI that you're seeing right now the final version. It's just getting that functionality built in, workable, usable, and just sort of in a state that you can all be testing it out and offering feedback and how it can be improved, any issues you find, things like that. But it's just it's coming along quite well, and it's taking shape, so it's going all right. And over the next few days, we're going to start actually linking it with the backend. So right now, what you're seeing is sort of a simulation, a mock-up kind of thing. But from tomorrow, next few days, it's going to actually become a live physical marketplace connected to all the backends that have been created.
You said next few days?
I say next few days. I mean, that's when it's going to start happening, like linking it all together.
Excellent. So, Chewy, do you have a date that you think we're ready to take the open beta live?
I don't want to give any kind of dates till I speak with Alex and Gustav about actually like linking it with the API. But I can't imagine it's going to be too much longer.
Okay, so I would expect then for everybody watching, listening in, by the next AMA, our open beta should be either going live at that point, or we may have already gone live prior to the AMA. And if it is live prior to the AMA, then our next AMA is actually going to be pretty different. Once it's live, I want our AMA time to be spent as beta testing feedback. So that will be more like an open floor discussion regarding the marketplace and development. I think, this is awesome, man. It looks so good. That's like literally the first version and it already looks good.
That means a lot because I'm very perfectionisty with my designs. So
oh, as am I. Like if you were submitting this as a final, I'd be like, oh.
No. Yeah.
But like as a first iteration for an open beta, yeah, this is damn good for an open beta.
That is good. That is good, and yeah, it's come along well. So I look forward to actually getting it into not the public's hands, but the open beta testing people's hands. Absolutely,
which is right around the corner. So I think at this point, we can go ahead and open it up to questions, which I see the first question from Diablo. Will beta be testnet? And the answer is yes, it will be BSC testnet. And we will provide instructions to use the faucet so that you can get a bunch of fake BNB, basically, a bunch of fake BNB into your wallet. And then, yeah, you can. Now, don't get me wrong, even when you mint to testnet, you are minting to a chain. So I want to use real images that you want, because you just don't want it sitting on testnet and a chain that you're trying to like actually monetize your art on. So yeah, I would just do like silly pictures and things you don't care if they're on chain, right? Because you're still minting, it's just to a test chain. So yeah, it'll be on testnet. We will give instructions on the faucet. Basically, if you're not familiar with how a testnet works, it's using the same exact chain so you can test out your smart contract, but it's not real. It's not real crypto. So there's a thing called a faucet, and you connect your wallet to said faucet, and it'll just load your wallet up with however much BNB you ask it for. Usually it's limited to X amount that you can ask for. And then you have all this fake BNB sitting in there. You connect your wallet to the app and you switch your network to BSC testnet, and you'll see that you have that fake BNB in there, and you can do whatever you want. Upload, buy, sell, auction, test all the features without spending any real money. Is there another question? Any other questions?
Do we have more stories for Jeep 44 for the comic?
That's a great question. We should actually talk about that. That comic was so cool. Like that is so friggin' cool.
Spot on.
Yeah, I love seeing this. Like this will probably be, a many worlds comic NFT right away. So if you want to participate in that, If you're an artist or you know artists, participate in that, because if we list it as a many worlds comic, who do you think is going to get the proceeds for that? The artists, the people who did the work. So if you want to bring your creative mind, whether you're a writer, artist, whatever it may be, into the many worlds comics realm, do it. Us nerds over here, we're doing the coding side, and that's how we're doing our part. But all you artists out there, that is an absolute way for you to participate in the Many Worlds ecosystem and create a place for you at the organization where we know, these people will do art, these people work on development, and anybody's free to join any of those parts at any given time. But it's good to start kind of establishing yourself as a known person that does good stuff for the project.
Or even if you are a story writer, that can work too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love looking at this thing. I'll send the bit. God.
2-ply or 3-ply?
Yeah, very, very cool. Very cool. Let's see, is there any...
New question.
Oh, there are. Okay. Maybe just a quick update on Fiat BMP. Right. So I last reached out to Cloud Payments a couple of days ago. It was about mid last week for an update. So the last we heard was, especially because BNB is under investigation for being a security, you can see like this isn't an us exclusive problem, right? Someone as big as BNB is having to deal with something like this. So the last update from them is, yes, they're going to be making a widget that basically is a quick KYC process and a disclaimer saying if you're in the US, don't purchase. But that is development time. I have not yet received an update on that. And I'm not confident that that feature is going to exist, to be completely honest. I'm not confident. I want it to. I think we all want it to. Even, Cloud Payments wants it. Everybody wants it to. But if there's even the slightest chance that, Cloud Payments could be dinged with selling unregistered securities if BNB is ruled that way, that's a big risk for them to take on. So I don't know. We're going to see how that turns out. And, right now we know the path forward. We know what they're doing. They thinks that'll work. We think that'll work. Everybody thinks that that'll work. And that's what we're working on. But there's really nothing from our end we can do other than me poke for updates. So I will continue poking. And as I get updates, I will continue filling everyone in. Biscuit storyteller, love it. Girlfriend has an idea for a toy tumble existing picture. What about the idea of bot fixing the toy for a kid but forgets to put legs because he doesn't have any legs himself? I like that. That's cute. Any other questions, concerns? Anybody want to voice their opinion? You are all Many Worlds members here. You have the floor just like any of us do. If you do want to voice a concern, a question, an idea, these AMAs are a great time to do so. I need to be extremely clear that the people you see up here on this AMA, we're not decision makers, right? We're decision executors, I suppose. So if you have something, anything, direction, concern, question, these AMAs are a great place to air that, get clarity, or perhaps change the way we're doing things. So it doesn't just need to be a question of like, what are we doing next? It's we should be doing this, right? And then we take it to a vote. Well, if there is nothing else, I am happy calling it here. Does anyone else have, final remarks, words, anything?
I'm good, thank you. I have to go back to my APIs.
Yep, back to the grind for me as well.
Same as here. I wish to say much love for everyone that came to, and thank you from the dev team.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Much love indeed. Love the work that's being done. The last real massive speed bump is finishing up all this legal stuff and being, as best as we can. There's no clear cut answer. If there was, this wouldn't be a problem for anyone. And for any projects that aren't treating it as a real concern, likely will not be the projects that survive this new regulated landscape, right? Crypto has been the Wild West for a long time. It is now starting to get tamed. And if you're using not being doxxed as your way out, you're not going to survive. If you're using little gimmicks to get around regular regulatory lines, you're not going to survive. And this could take years, right? Maybe we are being overly cautious, but I don't care. I don't care. Caution and longevity is far more important for us as an organization, because I think that the people here, the artists, the developers, the companies, the people we've networked with, this whole many worlds thing, this idea that we have here is just incredible. It can do incredible things for blockchain technology. Incredible. So making sure that that organization is able to persevere any climate is and will be my number one goal. And if you're not a fan of that, vote me out. It's more than okay. But that is what I personally will continue to focus on. So much love, everybody. And looking forward to taking the open beta live here in probably the next week or two. Somebody shut me up if that's too fast. I don't think it is, but I think the next week or two, open beta will be live. Voting beta will be live. And legal structure votes might be happening. I'm going to put a big asterisk on that one. I don't know. But awesome. Much love, everybody. Thank you for coming. And looking forward to the next AMA.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Obrigado, galera. Até mais.